Aziz Datuk Mustafa, the Acting Chief Executive Officer of Yayasan University Malaysia. Give it up for my boss. Yo, boss!
Okay, thank you, Diana. And once again, a big round of applause for Faith Fiona. Wonderful. Let's hear so far. So, Tuan-tuan dan puan, first of all, welcome to Yayasan University Malaysia. If this is your first time, I hope you tak terkejut. But this is how we run the events around here. It's very laid back, very relaxed. You want to sit back, chill out at the back, it's fine. You want to come up here in front, there's still some more seats. Nama saya Aziz Mustafa. We are part of Yayasan University Malaysia, which is part of Kementerian Sains, Teknologi dan Inovasi. We were formed back in 2008 dengan mandate from the government to develop, cultivate, discover innovations in all walks of life, in all strata of society. So kebanyakan, most of our work is in the villages and the outskirts of the country. But I can show you a little bit about what we're doing. But I just want to talk about what's been going on for the past couple of months. But before we go into that, because when people talk about innovation, people are confused about what is an idea, what's innovation, what's creativity. They use the words interchangeably. They're basically the same, but not quite. So we typically differentiate between ideas, creativity, and innovation. But to start off, I'd like to talk about perspective, because perspective is what puts you in this exact point in history, in time, this exact moment, and it all depends on what you have experienced before. Our brains, our human brains, are not capable really of going beyond what has already been experienced. So I have a little video here to show you about what perception is. Now, if you click play on this video, please. So a frog perceives life much like you and me. So it sees a bug and it wants to eat it, right? Even on an iPhone. So the bug he's very good at it because he's experienced eating ants and eating bugs all his life. So even on an iPhone, it's pretty easy for him to kind of so the bug bites the finger. So yeah, that's the big closure of that video. But anyway, it tells us that, and our brains are very similar. Our brains know what we have experienced before. So if something comes in front of us, we rely on our experience. We rely on what has happened before to make sense of things in front of us. Because we don't typically get full information. Okay? We only get bits and pieces, and our brain fills in the blanks. But our two guests today, Bach and Fanch from France, they have taken upon themselves to seek out new experiences, to go out and reach out to the world, and so that their perspective is much broader than the typical you and me, because we may not have been to as many places, we may have not experienced as much as they have. So it's all about creating experiences that enrich your perspective. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about Savijay. We kind of skipped a few slides. So what happened lately, the past couple of months, next slide please, is a bit sad because this experience, most Malaysians, I think most people around the world, couldn't process this information because we didn't have the experience before. Never have we lost an aircraft. Never has a 777 disappeared. So we couldn't make sense of it, and some people reacted to it differently. A lot of people broke down and cried. A lot of people cracked really stupid jokes. A lot of people became mean, because we couldn't really fathom what was going on. And it's been a sad time for us in Malaysia and indeed across the world. Just grab a seat here. Sit here. And we'd like to get to know these two handsome gentlemen a little better. And so I'd like to ask them a few questions on... Yeah, it's translating, yeah. So also I'd like to introduce Hind, who's going to help me translate a little bit if required, but I don't think it's necessary. But big round of applause to Hind. Thank you. Thank you so much. So all three of them are from France. I'd like to start with you. Maybe you'd like to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, where you grew up.
So I'm Fanch. I come from France.
Yeah!
So I'm artist, and I used to work with my friend Bart.
Okay, so let's introduce Bart. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello, so I'm Bart, and I'm from France also. I'm artist also, more visual artist, so I take pictures, videos, and make website and other stuff. And yeah, I used to work with France since a long time now, on the road.
Which part of France are you from?
We are from Brittany.
Brittany?
It's the west part of France.
Okay.
West Coast.
West Coast.
West Coast. All right. So, are you trained? Did you go to school studying the arts, or what was your history?
Yeah, so the both we made fine art school in France, not the same one. I was in Paris and France was in Brittany, in Quimper, our city. And yeah, we finished our study 5 years ago now. 5 years for you, 6 for me.
So 5 years ago they graduated. 1.5 years ago they started a journey to circle the globe on their bicycles, recumbents. They didn't bring it today, unfortunately. So I think you would have arrived earlier if you had cycled. So thanks, Azam, but you should have cycled, yeah. But so what made you start this journey? I mean, most people, when I say to them, I have 2 Frenchmen coming, and they're cycling around the world, and the first thing they say is, you're crazy. Well, why would anyone do that? So what prompted you to start the project?
I will try to answer in English. Personally, I had a dream. It was just take the road around the world, but I wanted to find a work, and so how can I explain that? I think I will give you the microphone here. En gros, moi j'avais envie de faire le tour du monde.
He wanted to travel around the world,
J'avais besoin de trouver un objectif, quelqu'un pour m'accompagner.
but he needed to find an aim and objective, and he needed to find also a companion, somebody with whom he could travel with.
Et Bart, de son côté, avait les mêmes envies.
And Bart wanted exactly the same thing,
Je pense qu'on s'est rencontrés au bon moment.
so they met at the right time.
As always happens, it's the right time. Every time's the right time.
Et en fait, quand ils se sont rencontrés, on a d'abord décidé de travailler ensemble, parce qu'il travaille l'image, je travaille le son. Et comme on a envie de voyager, on s'est décidé, pourquoi pas travailler en voyageant.
So when they met, in the first place it was to work together, because he likes to work with sound, and Bart is more into images, visual content. And so they wanted to start working together, right?
D'abord travailler, puis après on s'est dit.
And then they decided to, why not traveling and working at the same time together? Because we want both of us to travel, so why not combining both interests?
So when you say work and travel together, which means at every place that you go, are you employed? Does somebody pay you to do something, or what does work and travel mean?
Yeah, so when we say work, it doesn't mean paid work. So, it's an important procedure. No, the idea is to travel, and our project, the name is Geocyclab in English, sorry. So Geo for the Earth, Cyc for cycling, and Lab for laboratory. And the main idea is to make a kind of mobile workshop around the world by bicycle. So we spend, I think, half of the time on the road riding and half of the time walking, but it means different things. So making art, installation, audiovisual creation, and performance, and many things, alone or with people we met in different places, in cities mostly. And the second part of our work is to make a kind of investigation about open culture, we call it like this. So it's really large. It can be open source, open hardware, open spaces, sharing culture. Yeah, it's very, very large. So we try to meet people about this new culture, and each time to make kind of portraits, video or photo, or just writing. And all what we do, we publish it directly, more or less directly on our website. So this is the biggest part of our work, really.
Okay, so the geosiclab.fr. So if all of you want to see their work, we're going to showcase a little bit of the website today, about the amazing stuff they've done. They started the journey almost 18 months ago. So they are really in the midway point of their journey. So maybe you can tell us, now that you've gone, many people do crazy stuff, but they stop after maybe 2 hours, right? But you go on after 18 months, so there must be something going on. What's so special about this trip that you're taking?
Qu'est-ce qui fait que, après avoir commencé, vous êtes déjà à 18 mois, qu'est-ce qui fait que vous avez réussi à continuer? Parce qu'il dit qu'il y en a beaucoup qui commencent à voyager, finalement ils s'arrêtent au bout.
En gros, je pense que si on a envie de continuer, c'est parce que jusqu'à aujourd'hui, ça a fonctionné, l'atelier mobile de Geocyclab tourne et ça n'arrête pas, ça n'arrête jamais.
They said that if they are still doing it, it's simple. It's because it's functioning, it's working, and it's satisfying. And the mobile workshop, in a way, it's a mobile workshop, is still going on and bringing, answering to their questions and yeah.
Et juste pour compléter, au début du voyage, au tout début des 6 premiers mois, il nous a fallu tout construire. Parce qu'on ne savait pas comment le faire. La réalité du terrain, on ne connaissait pas la réalité du terrain. Il nous a fallu tout construire. Et puis après, on est parti.
So, but they needed a time to build this project, of course, because they were thinking about it theoretically before the trip. But from the moment the trip started, they needed 6 months to put everything in place, to implement everything, to develop everything. So after 6 months, they found exactly their, how the project will be going, and so they started from this moment after 6 months, and it's exactly how they were planning.
So now for this past 1 year, you've already you know what you're going to do at each place that you are. But of course, every location is different, yeah? So how was Malaysia? How did you find the stuff that you can do here in our country?
Malaysia, it's a little bit special because we arrived here 2 weeks ago. And for the moment, we just spend all the time in BGBG house, Harmony Hub. Yeah. So we are hosted in this space, and we really need time now to work, to publish all stuff we made, and also to look for new grants, because we are looking for money for the end of our project. So it took time to contact in France some public grants to make files, folders, and presentation. So it was a necessary time of working and stuff, and we are really lucky to find this space, BGBG. And so for the moment we didn't see nothing about Malaysia. So
it's BGBG's fault then. Where is Azam? I'd like to acknowledge that BGBG is a very strong partner of ours in Yayasan Invasi. They produced amazing stuff. They're mainly into upcycling and doing community type projects. They have hosted this duo in their house. They have a harmony house in Sentul. I would encourage all of you to go give them a visit. But it's quite dangerous. Huh? You go there for 2 weeks, they didn't see anything except for the house. So if you go, you might not be able to escape.
But there is a lot of to see.
Yeah.
Just in the house.
How did you find them in the first place?
With a friend, we met a guy in Yogyakarta in Indonesia before. He was a Portuguese guy in Jogja for 1 year studying gamelan, the music, traditional music. And after this, when we left, he just sent us a message 2 weeks after to say, I'm in KL and in this place, BGBG house, and I think it will be interesting for you, so just like this.
Who here is working 9 to 5? All of us, right? How cool would that be? Okay? Oh, I've met somebody, they're now in KL, let's go to Yogyakarta and study gamelan for a year. So, you know, we have to put in 3 requisitions, 5 bosses have to sign before we make a trip 6 months down the road. So, you know, I think that's part of where you're coming from, you know, the freedom to explore the earth. So what next? Where are you going after Malaysia?
North. We're going north until Thailand, and we decide to make a break, a real break, without bicycle, without computer, for 1 or 2 months.
Nice.
Because we begin to be tired, very tired, and so yeah.
Okay, yeah. Who would like to take a 2-month vacation? Don't you hate him? You just take 2 months off.
The first 2 months.
Okay. So you've been riding hard for 18 months, huh? 2 months and 3 years. Okay.
That's the middle. Yeah.
So this is the middle point. You've met us. We hope you have any time, any questions from any of you. We'd like to. This is just a conversation, yeah, between us. We're having a nice talk. But I believe there's something that you want to show us. Is there anything you'd like to show from your website? Please proceed.
Show you a sample of their work and what they do. And the first thing you're going to watch is called a checkpoint.
Checkpoint, c'est une réunion qu'on fait en face de la caméra, tous les 2 mois environ.
Every 2 months, they kind of meet their camera and they talk to the camera. So it's a meeting between them, yeah, and the camera, and they talk about the experience.
Et pour nous, c'est une occasion de faire le point des événements passés, sur le travail, sur le voyage, sur le travail, sur les recherches, la création et le voyage.
So it's a way for them to summarize and come to a conclusion after 2 months of trip. They decide to talk about the work they've been doing, about the trip in itself, and about the creation part, the artistic part. So discuss about all these points that are important in their trip.
Et c'est aussi l'occasion de partager avec tout le monde c'est l'occasion de partager avec tout le monde notre aventure, mais aussi de faire déjà faire le tri dans les images, dans les vidéos, en vue d'un long documentaire.
So it's a way during the trip to show what they're doing, but it's also a way to go through the images and pick the right images. Already kind of a work of working on the images and keep the best images, because their project in the future is maybe to make a long documentary of their trip. So these little videos help them already showcasing what they do, and also help them in the process of going through the images.
Et donc sur ce checkpoint-là, c'était au Maroc il y a plus d'1 an, je pense.
This checkpoint you're going to watch took place in Morocco about a year ago, a bit more than a year ago.
On était encore dans
February 2013.
On était encore en train de chercher la forme de l'atelier.
They were still exploring at that time. They were still looking for the right format for this checkpoint.
Et peut-être que, ce qu'on peut dire, c'est que là-dedans, on va parler de concepts qu'on n'a pas encore expliqués, mais qu'on va en parler après, comme ici.
So in the video, they're going to introduce some concepts that they work on. They haven't had the opportunity to talk about them yet, but they will be happy to explain after the video if you have questions about some terminology or concepts that are a bit unclear. C'est bon? Let's go.
C'est comme ça quoi.
فرط الوقت دي
ما غنجيش تنسى تحية الوقت مزيان.
احنا ما عندنا غرض فيهم، احنا ما عندنا تلفازات ولا عندنا راديوات ولا عندنا شطور ولا عندنا شفاء الخيام برطق حيواننا ما دخل حضرنا
Ils sont loin dans le désert, Il se trouve qu'il faisait bien,
les choses طبيعيين.
il veut vivre comme ça quoi.
C'est ça, il faut la fouiller
Voilà,
pour que ça soit.
حاجة ما زلنا شنو النهار والشفع ده هو
ils sont liés à la nature quoi.
حد ما السيدة طبيعية كان الحمد لله احنا نشوفه.
Donc ce qui leur fait peur, c'est ces villes, ces grands blocs de ces mondes, ces concentrations sociales où il y a trop de monde et tous les valeurs sont disparues. Quoi.
C'est ça. Ouais. Et ça, est-ce qu'il espère que ça peut changer un jour?
Dans quel sens?
Dans le bon sens, justement. Est-ce que ça peut revenir
شو لك هو قال لك محمد زين عن زمان الترجمة حال الزينة كبروها تصلح لها.
حداج.
هذا فيها أمل فيها النور فيها الضوء.
هو هذا.
بدكم تنكسي ورافضين الأخبار بدكم يتزين.
نقول له لكن الحاج عندي لكن ما في احنا ماشي فيه صلحت نراعوا فيها خصنا نراعوا هذا
Dans l'imaginaire bédouin, c'est Sahara, donc eux c'est des croyants, c'est Dieu qui gère tout ça. Donc eux font élément ou partie de ce qui se passe, qui sont dans la nature envers nous. Si ça doit s'accomplir vers le bien, c'est déjà comme ça, sinon ils sont dedans et ils font partie, et ce qui arrive doit arriver.
Salut.
Bonjour.
On a changé de terrasse. On est plus sur une terrasse.
Si, on est un peu sur une terrasse, mais c'est pas un hôtel, je trouve.
Non, c'est clair.
Enfin, c'est un hôtel, mais sauvage. On est dans une petite cabane en béton au milieu d'un bled. Pas loin de l'eau de drap, ça doit être un affluent de l'eau de drap. Et on a passé la nuit ici, du coup. On a dormi là.
Sachant que ce qui reste de l'ouest, c'est du sable pour l'instant. Donc on est sur la route de Tantan.
Voilà, on a 30 bornes de Tantan.
30 petites bornes. Et voilà, donc la dernière fois, on était à Tiznit, vers les checkpoints. Depuis, on a rejoint la mer en fait. Tiznit c'était à 50 bornes de la mer, on a rejoint la mer, la route côtière, pour passer à Mirleft. Parce qu'on avait entendu dire qu'il y avait un village altermondialiste là-bas. Et on voulait aller faire les curieux, voir si on pouvait choper quelque chose à manger pour notre recherche sur le livre. Et Mirlef, en fait, on n'a rien trouvé, on a demandé, on s'est renseigné, on n'a pas trouvé grand-chose. Et du coup, après, il fallait rejoindre Gelbib. Donc on a traversé, on fait 50 bornes de montagne.
Et à Gelbib, du coup, on est tombé tout de suite sur Aziz, qui était une terrasse de café, qui a vu notre drapeau breton.
Et les Bretons.
Et on a passé 4 jours chez lui, tranquille, vraiment tranquille.
Ouais. Là, c'est quelqu'un aussi qui connaît très bien sa région, le désert, tout ça, donc il nous a filé plein de conseils, plein de coups de main pour nous préparer à pas faire n'importe quoi.
Ouais, puis il nous a fait rencontrer il y a son cousin Gojima qui habite un peu plus loin à Pétantan.
Ouais.
On va sûrement revoir. Et puis Abou Bakar, qui était alors, vous connaissez plus ou moins, qui était un bédouin en fait, qui passe l'hiver, 2-3 mois, pour échanger son bétail, chameaux et chèvres contre des denrées qui ramènent un peu dans le désert et qui étaient posées dans un oasis, le Gelmid.
Ouais.
Et on a passé une nuit là-bas, sous la tente de la nouvelle, dans le temps de bédouin. C'était chouette.
Et là, on était dans une bulle spatio-temporelle.
Ouais, vraiment, c'était.
Ouais.
Puis on n'avait rien à faire. Il y avait Gojima qui nous préparait le tagine, ou Bakar qui nous faisait du thé à longueur de journée. Ouais. Et puis Aziz qui faisait l'interprète, qui nous permettait de discuter.
Ah, c'était chouette.
On était petits amis.
لا سعدي
لا بخير
تذكر هو لا
بسم الله
بيبارك وصفات مليان
Et donc là on est rentré, on est revenu à Guédille et on a profité d'un petit atelier, du petit atelier d'Aziz pour réparer nos vélos.
Ouais,
Ça c'est quelque chose qu'on devait faire depuis un moment.
bah ouais, qu'on rencontrait
Depuis trop longtemps.
Non, c'était un peu. Ouais, il fallait peut-être remplacer l'échelle. Enfin, c'est des trucs un peu basiques.
Mais qu'il faut faire régulièrement.
Mais il faut qu'on fasse ça sur les vélos qui tiennent 3 ans. Si on va être sur ce rythme-là, ça va être dur. Surtout que là, on va arriver dans le désert et on va se bouffer beaucoup de ça.
Ouais, et puis
C'est pas bon pour l'échelle.
Et puis pas moyen de. Il n'y a pas une boutique de vélo tous les 100 mètres quoi.
Non, en plus, mais
Donc il fallait prévoir le coup un petit peu.
Et on a repris la route. On est reparti avant-hier.
Avant-hier, et là on est dans personnellement ce que j'attendais depuis longtemps en fait.
Ouais, dans le désert.
Dans le désert quoi. Et là ça change quoi. Là,
Sauf
vraiment,
qu'on a eu la flotte.
Oui.
Un orage la veille du départ de Galune. Et le lendemain, vraiment, on était un peu d'eau dans le vent d'ouest avec des averses, des grappes.
Ouais, c'est assez fantastique.
Ouais.
Après du coup c'est super beau parce que
Là, c'était
les nuages les hommes des nuages qui glissent sur les collines, là,
c'est chouette.
c'est juste.
C'est que des.
C'est cool de. Ensuite, alors, on regarde oui, la création artistique, la création.
Ouais, enfin, un petit point là-dessus.
Bah oui, mais c'est parti, ça c'est cool. On a commencé, on a concrétisé des idées. On s'est lancé. Moi je suis super content. Enfin. Je vais pas trop en dire parce que ce serait dommage de gâcher le plaisir, mais.
Enfin, oui, gâcher le plaisir, mais la question se pose en fait de comment diffuser ces choses-là. J'ai capté ce qu'on a fait, là, donc j'ai encore mis des rushs dans l'ordinateur. Est-ce qu'on va garder ça 3 ans? Quel format on trouve pour mettre en forme, tout ça? Donc le fait de commencer à créer, ça pose plein de questions.
De diffusion.
De captation, de réalisation, de format.
Sachant qu'on avait prévu de faire un vernissage virtuel en mars. Donc 6 mois après le départ, ça fait déjà un peu plus de 4 mois qu'on est parti. On vient tout juste de commencer à bosser concrètement. Et on n'a pas grand chose à montrer pour mars. Bah, ce qui est sûr, c'est qu'on va reporter le vernissage, mais on ne sait pas encore quand. Est-ce qu'un vernissage virtuel c'est intéressant? Est-ce que c'est mieux de le faire en réel au bout de 3 ans? Enfin tout ça. Ça me trotte dans la tête en ce moment. Mais c'est bien, comme tu dis aussi, c'est parce qu'on.
C'est parce qu'on commence à produire, mec.
Ouais.
On se retrouve à se poser les questions concrètement, plus juste en théorie.
C'est ça.
Plus ça vient après. Mais bon, ce qui est sûr, c'est qu'il faut qu'on continue à produire des choses pour l'instant, pour la matière, du choix, enfin quelque chose d'encore plus concret pour trouver les réponses à ces questions.
Pareil, le problème.
Non,
c'est parti.
Non, je pense que c'est bien entré. Et puis il y a les échos qui tombent toujours, de mieux en mieux. C'est de plus en plus naturel et spontané de faire des échos. On prend vraiment le temps maintenant de s'arrêter dans les paysages qu'on croise. Si on voit quelque chose qui nous attire, on s'arrête, on le fait.
Ouais.
Et ça c'est cool, parce que c'est ce qui nous manquait un peu au début, je pense. Et le dernier point qu'on voulait aborder, c'était sur le libre. Donc là aussi, il y a pas mal de questions qui se posent. On s'est un peu cassé le nez, comme on disait, sur les altermondialistes. On visait ça pour faire un portrait sur le libre. Et par contre, on a eu la chance de croiser un gars qui s'appelle Anas Yakin, un Marocain, on l'a vraiment croisé parce qu'il est un gars de 25 ans qui fait le tour du Maroc à pied pendant un an. Et qui a remonté le Darwa jusqu'à Tanger, des zigzags, avec un esprit de liberté, tout simplement. C'est pas un esprit
sans justification.
C'est pas une pensée politique, c'est juste son rêve d'enfant de voyager à pied. Et il le fait. Et ça, apparemment, ça étonne énormément de Marocains. C'est une démarche très
très engagé malgré lui.
Donc c'est quelque chose qui nous a plu.
Ouais, la démarche, pour nous, elle rentre un peu dans ce qu'on cherche, quoi. Le libre, au sens très très large du terme, la liberté, en fait, tout ça, la pensée libre. Et donc on a fait un nouveau portrait d'Abbas. Et ce portrait vient s'ajouter, je sais plus si c'est 5 ans, je sais qu'on a. Et là aussi, la question se pose de quand on va les diffuser, comment, quel format, donc voilà, il y a plein de questions qui se posent. Et il y a aussi une autre question dont on discute pas mal tous les deux depuis un bout de temps, c'est les objets libres, on en parlait, les objets, les systèmes D.
Portrait d'objets.
On a envie de faire une galerie de portraits d'objets aussi, au moins des photos. Mais ça, on n'arrive pas encore à l'enclencher. Mais
on se dit que on est plus attiré par les rencontres.
Oui, du coup,
par les rencontres d'acteurs du libre, de personnes en tout cas qui ont une démarche allant dans ce sens-là, que par les objets, quoi. Et la suite, du coup, le programme n'est pas encore clairement défini. Tout ce qu'on sait, c'est qu'à Tantan, on va se poser 2-3 jours, on y sera ce soir. Donc 2 choses à faire à Tantan, c'est faire le montage du checkpoint et de le contacter, de faire une espèce de visioconférence avec Linux Quimper. Donc c'était prévu depuis un moment et on va tenter le coup. Inch'Allah, parce que les connexions internet, c'est pas forcément toujours super top.
C'est pour ça qu'on y va 2 jours avant.
Ouais.
Le temps de tester tous les cybercafés de Tintin.
Bon, allez, voilà.
Voilà.
Le vent se lève.
Le soleil aussi.
Le soleil aussi, et le joueur qui
On décolle.
on décolle.
Donc, à bientôt.
Salut.
Des nouvelles.
Ciao, ciao.
Wow, so that's what they've been doing. You know, again, when I spoke about perspective, some of us cannot fathom, you know, living like this and going on the road and you know, there's some cyclists here. Dr. Sham, hi Dr. Sham. He's one of my buddies, one of a fellow cyclist. But you know, there's another cyclist here. Excellent. So you know, we know the thrill of being on the road or being on a hill and riding our bikes, but not for this scale and not for the amount of time you've been on the road. So what are the challenges of, you know, going on this journey on bicycles? What problems have you faced?
Quels sont les défis, les difficultés ou pas?
Je pense que dans le voyage, il n'y a pas de difficulté en soi. Notre principale difficulté, c'est le temps. C'est de trouver le temps de faire du vélo et de rencontrer les gens, de découvrir des choses, et le temps de faire la restitution, de travailler et créer. Donc c'est vraiment le partage du temps. C'est pas des difficultés physiques.
So, in the framework of the trip, they don't find it very difficult physically. What they find very difficult is to find the time to work and the time to cycle and meet people. This partition between these two kind of.
Why did you choose recumbents?
Why?
Yeah, instead of normal bicycle.
I think first reason it's because it's really more comfortable for big distances, and comfortable I mean really healthy for your back, for all the body instead. So it's maybe the first reason, and the second one, it's really original. Nobody knows Rick Evans all over the world, So when we arrive somewhere, we are really. It's really a good way to meet people easily and quickly. So this is two good reasons to choose it.
So any more explanation on the checkpoint that we just saw? Anything you want to add to maybe give us a bit more insight on what we just saw?
Est-ce que vous avez des choses à
Je dirais bien que sur ce checkpoint-là, on commençait vraiment à se mettre dans le bain, à trouver des repères dans un atelier mobile et que rien n'était encore construit. C'était vraiment juste le début.
So with this checkpoint, they started really getting into the project. Nothing was really established till then, and with this checkpoint, they really started finding a kind of cruise rhythm.
Et peut-être qu'on peut parler un peu plus des deux parties, pas le voyage, mais la création. Ouais. On peut parler du voyage, enfin, plus du voyage, mais de la création artistique et de l'open source.
Beyond the trip only here, they would like to discuss a bit more about the artistic creation and also the open source, open culture in general that is behind their project.
Peut-être que si, open source via nos outils de travail.
Why open source? Because they started using open source tools while they were working, before traveling, right? Right, before traveling they were using open source tools. So that's why now they're so interested in using that also in the framework of their trip.
Et donc, non seulement c'était des outils faciles d'accès,
They're easy to access,
mais en plus, il y a toute une communauté qui est très engagée autour de chacun de ces outils-là.
but there is a very enthusiastic and motivated community that is behind it.
Et on s'en est rendu compte, on s'est vraiment rendu compte que ça avait un potentiel énorme.
So and they realized how strong and how important this community and this spirit behind it will be helping them in the framework of their job, their trip.
Je laisse finir ça, puis on parle de ça. Je peux venir parler de ça. Ouais, bien. Mais je l'ai fait sur les open source. Et du coup, je vous dis ce que je dis.
So is this the free object libre that you talk about in your site?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. It will show categories. Donc ça c'est la galerie des objets libres. On les appelle objets libres, mais en anglais c'est pas free object, mais c'est open object.
So this is their website, and this is a section in their website that is called Open Objects, Objets libres.
Et là où je voulais en venir, juste avant, mais on travaillait avec des softwares libres et on a commencé à s'intéresser aux objets libres, aux objets.
So they were working with the open source and open software, and so they started being very interested in getting into the open object concept.
Parce que aujourd'hui, grâce à Internet, il y a une circulation des données et les logiciels peuvent partager, mais les plans d'objets aussi. Donc l'open source sort de l'ordinateur pour arriver dans le monde des objets.
Because they wanted to take out this culture, this open source culture, out of the digital world and bring it to the real world.
Donc c'est pour ça qu'on est intéressé par les objets.
That's why they are really interested in objects in general.
Donc là, je sais pas, tu peux parler du site, toi de ça?
Ouais.
Ouais, je sais. Je sais pas comment faire.
Ou alors les gens peuvent poser des questions.
Vas-y,
So we are going to present maybe more the website and different categories before to go too much in details. So we have three main categories in our work. The first one is the diary, so in French, carnet de bord. We used to make one post each day during the first 500 days of our trip. So it was really a big work. Each day we write what happened in the day, and with photos, so yeah, like this. And we decided now to make less posts and to make it maybe twice a week, or it depends. So this category is really about our way of life on the road, and about the, how can I say that?
Daily life.
Yeah, our daily life, walking and traveling. So the second categories, our main categories, is we call it ex situ. It's kind of digital art gallery where we publish, and it's kind of exhibition but online, all the artistic installation, performance and audiovisuals that we made. So this is 6 performance and installation we made in Africa, most of them, and 1 in Mexico, the last one. And we have 1 or 2 more, but they are not published.
I was interested because you call them haikus. So how did that leap between haikus, which are
so
verbal form, go into videos?
Yeah, haikus, it's one part of our artistic creation. So it's now we have 60 haiku. So haiku, at the beginning, it's a kind of Japanese poetry, very short. I think it's more about just to catch the present moment and just a sensation, a feeling about present. And originally, it's just writing and maybe painting, more with calligraphy, Japanese calligraphy. And this idea just inspired us to make the same, but in audiovisual. So the rule of haiku, when we decide to make a haiku, I take my camera and I take a picture during 1 minute of what inspired me in one place. And Fonch, in the same time, or more or less in the same time, but in the same place, he do the same, but with just a sound recorder. So we are really, each one in his concentration. On my picture is in his sound. And after this, we put the both on the edition software. And sometimes it produces a kind of poetic effect. And this is
so they record it separately.
Yeah, we record.
He does the
really
audio, you do the video.
Yeah. I can, for example, make a picture of a big landscape, and he can record a really tiny and discrete sound, or sometimes the contrary.
Okay, can we see some examples of this?
Yeah, of course. It's more. This is one.
Sound is.
Where is this?
It was in Morocco. Fes.
Siput boboy itu.
Maybe one other, I don't know.
So it's in Mexico?
Exactly. The main place, central place of Mexico.
Amazing. So while we watch these wonderful videos, there's plenty of food. There's that teh tarik, the healthy fruit I bought, the quite unhealthy but really delicious other stuff the other guys bought. But please help yourselves. There's teh tarik, of course. You want to show a few more of your videos? One more, okay.
If you want.
And maybe after that you can talk a little bit about the equipment that you use, because there's some technical guys who came here to see, you know, what kind of photography and what kind of audio capturing equipment you use.
So you're probably wondering what's this sound?
Yes, it sounds like March. I'm sorry, I think
Or a wave. Fonch put some microphones into the ground. And what you're hearing now is the friction of the sand into the ground. That's impressive. It's a hydro, how do you say, like it's a kind of waterproof hydrophone, no, yeah, microphone that was into the ground.
And where was that?
It was in Morocco.
Morocco.
The desert of Morocco.
One more.
Sorry. So we have 60 of them on the website for the moment, and more and more during the next day.
So, okay, can you tell me what equipment you use to capture these images? The camera.
So my camera, it's not open source camera. It's not yet, but for the next trip it will be. It's a Canon 60D, so semi-professional camera.
Do you use Magic Lantern to record it?
So what?
Magic Lantern is an open source.
Magic Lantern.
It's a firmware for 60D.
That I can
install
inside the camera.
Yes.
Yes. No, I don't use it, but I'm really interested. But I just to take the picture during
cycling.
Cycling, yeah. For the sound, it's what's the name? Zoom H2N.
Zoom.
It's
digital
small digital sound recorder.
What are the favorite lens that you love to use to shoot with?
On my camera?
Yeah.
I have just two lenses, one big, well, I don't know one. I think it's 1585.
1585 maybe?
Yeah, it's a zoom.
It's a nice, yeah.
And I have another one, just 50.
50.
Yeah, but with really open for the light. Yeah, so just with this both I do all the stuff. So.
Okay, is there something you'd like to show us that you brought here with you?
Yeah, maybe.
Ouais, je peux faire la leçon. Just maybe. Ouais, on en a parlé déjà.
Ah, c'est bon?
Du son? Non, du son. Pas de Arduino. Est-ce que je lis à traduire ou au moins tu veux partir sur Arduino?
So we can follow about material. To make installation and art performance, Fanch used to work with open hardware, which name the most famous is Arduino. It's a microcontroller, so some things you can enter information from the reality, like movement, light, temperature, and a lot of information. You can capture it and transform it into a motor, so it can be
so from capturing to movement or to control.
Tu peux m'aider? Oui. Celui-là, on l'a fait pour BGBG, à BGBG.
Okay, this device was made for BGBG at BGBG Harmony Hub.
Et c'est pour calculer la consommation d'énergie.
Its aim is to calculate the consumption of energy in the house.
Donc ça c'est un capteur de courant.
So this is the
current sensor.
Yeah, the current sensor, electricity sensor. Yeah.
On peut visualiser en temps réel la consommation de watts, volts, ampères, etc.
And you can see live the consumption of watt or any energy that is consumed in the house.
Après, on peut faire des actions. On peut demander à l'appareil de charger une deuxième batterie, une troisième batterie. On peut faire
Tu peux redire ça?
par exemple, si c'est utilisé avec des panneaux solaires, une fois que la première batterie est pleine, on peut switcher sur une autre batterie.
You can program it, and you can attach it to a solar panel or any other thing, and connect it to other things.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
Yes.
Et pour un autre exemple, ça c'est la même chose.
It's the same thing.
C'est le même contrôleur, mais c'est un synthétiseur.
But this is a synthesizer.
Donc c'est pour faire de la musique.
To make music.
Okay. C'est pour juste deux exemples pour montrer l'étendue des. Je peux montrer un synthétiseur.
He can show this and
Yes,
show
please.
you how it works. And
Please use the computer.
Yeah.
So it's a synthesizer.
Yes.
Made in BGB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made in BG.
So now we can. Excuse me.
If you guys,
Slow.
if you guys come closer, please feel free, stand up, come see what Punch is doing. He's sticking something that doesn't look like it's supposed to be in a computer, but
Equalizer, power M, power M.
okay, so now it's there. You go. Come on, check it out.
You can go up, yeah.
Now we can go up. See what he's doing. I want to go see that.
The music.
Nice.
There is a movement sensor.
Just photo resistance. Just light sensor. Yeah, light sensor. Yeah.
He's worried because you plugged it into a computer.
I think it's just for the alimentation.
No problem.
Just
Yes. Yeah.
it works with battery, but USB.
Honey said buy a new one. It's okay. Thank you. Okay, can we have some questions from the floor? Please. From a single lady, so that's kind of... Okay, how old are you?
I'm 32 and Franche is 29.
29, 32. Subaida. Married? Children? Are you married?
No.
Both of them are
Single
single and available.
Without children.
Kwan, Siti, question. Siri, sorry.
Which country you are going through? Started from which country and which country? Sequence.
Yeah, the itinerary.
Because your map is not clear.
Yeah. Maybe it's possible to have the main page. What is it? Who is this guy?
Is that you, Jay? It's Franche.
Maybe Franche.
He lost some weight.
So I can begin.
Extended screen. It's an extended screen.
We started in France, so 1 year and a half ago. And first we were in Spain, so we were south. And from Spain we crossed to Morocco, where we spent almost 3 months. Yeah, 3 months at all, because it's a really big country from north to south. After Morocco, we just crossed Mauritania, just a small part of Mauritania on the west coast. And we spent 2 weeks in Nouakchott, the capital. And after we were until Dakar, Senegal. And the first plan was to reach from Dakar, I don't know in English, Capo Verde in Espanol. Because we wanted to cross the ocean by boat, but as we spent a really long time in Morocco and in each country, we were really late to cross the ocean at the good season, so we forgot the plan. We took a plane directly from Dakar to Mexico City.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah. In Mexico, we had a big problem because we really lost our computer. Not really lost, but it was dead because of electric shock in a very cheap hostel with electric installation, just crazy. And we spent a long time to know what is really the engine, if it's possible to fix it or not. And at the end it was not, so we ordered a new computer, but in France, to have a French keyboard. And also because we are just working with Ubuntu and all the open source software with Ubuntu. So we know how to use it, but not really how to install it. And we needed to save all our data from the old computer. So for this we have friends in France who are part of a kind of collective, Linux collective, and they really help us during the road when we have informatic problems. And the one in Mexico was the biggest one, I hope the last one. So at the end we spent 5 months at all in Mexico City, not moving, but meeting a lot of people and making really interesting project, but not riding. So after this, we went north, this way, to California. So we did all the road, almost all the road by bus and boat, so not by bicycle this time. Until Tijuana and San Diego, where we crossed the border to America. And from San Diego until San Francisco, we did it by bicycle, the last winter. And from San Francisco, we took a plane directly to Denpasar, Bali, in Indonesia. And after this, we ride 2 months from Denpasar to Jakarta. And the last step was to come here from Jakarta by boat, because with a bicycle it's easier by boat. And now we are here. So
this map, it was the first plan.
Yeah, this is the first plan. So after we will go to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, just this. And the first plan was to go to China, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, so going north to come back to Europe. But now we know that we will be here during winter, so it's just impossible to cross Mongolia and Kazakhstan during winter by bicycle. Even by car, I think it's not possible. So we decided to change totally the road, and we are going to Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Iran, and Turkey. Yeah, a little bit more north, Turkey. And after we reach the first plan, but after it's Europe, so we are really free to move and to change. And to come back in France at the end of the 2015. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and at all it will be around 30,000 kilometers by bicycle.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe the same by plane. I don't know.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Paris, but I'm not from Paris. I have 2 questions basically. The first question is, I saw your videos riding with bikes, and it's not like the common ones that we see here, and it's actually it's two bikers, 2-wheelers, and I'm actually wondering, how do you adjust yourself, because I'm not a biker, so to me a bike has to come with an engine. So how do you adjust yourself to using that type of bike, and how do you keep yourself from not to fall? I mean, with the stuff that you carry all the time, you could topple, on either side. And how do you brake? I mean, a normal bike, if you know that you're going to topple, the first thing you're going to do is use your legs, right? So please, you need to try that.
You should have tried.
Yeah, the best way to understand is just to try, of course. At the beginning, it's really strange, because you used to you're comfortable with a regular bike, and you have kind of reflex that you need to lose to get this new bike. So, but maybe the 3 first hours, it's just, I don't understand, but after this, it's okay. It's really the same when you are a child, and the first time you learn a regular bicycle, it's the same. You are really afraid, you don't find the balance. And when you find it, it's for all your life. So
So they're called
It's the same for
recumbents,
brake,
these
it's the
bikes.
same. When you stop, you just have to.
Yeah, just put your leg on
Like
the
a
floor.
regular
Right,
bike.
So the difference is your feet is in front.
Yeah.
That's all.
But
You're just
stop.
sitting on a bigger seat
Yeah.
with a backrest.
So I'd like to see you boys try that in the middle of KL with traffic and everything.
we did it.
We
did it. Try.
And we did it in Jakarta before.
Jakarta.
So
Oh,
here it's just
Oh, Jakarta is even worse.
really clean.
Coming to my question number 2. You've been here about 2 weeks, right?
Sorry?
How long have you been here? 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and have you found anything that is locally Malaysian that you find inspiring for you to come up with something new for your artwork, either sound or visual? And maybe you can share with all of us. Nothing? Nothing later, no?
Not for the moment, not yet. Now we are working on videos, last videos, in the past and on the future. Try to organize our journey in Thailand. But we have more or less 15 days on the road from here to the border. And I hope we will find something to do, maybe in Penang, because now we know some people there. So maybe, we don't know yet, but we want to make something there and get inspiration on the road. So now we know a little bit about Kuala Lumpur, but Malaysia, nothing. So I think Kuala Lumpur is just a small part of Malaysia. It's big, but just a small part of Malaysian culture. So I want to see other things before deciding to do something.
Thank you, Paris.
Thank you.
Next question, please. Silakan.
Are those cycling pants?
These cycling pants.
Est-ce que c'est vos
Pantalons.
C'est le pantalon.
Yeah, more or less. I don't use a lot this one for bicycle, for cycling.
Here it's too hot.
Yeah, depends on the country. Yeah. And of the season.
How much money do you budgeted when you first start to take this journey, and how do you manage yourself? You know, yeah. Yes.
So the first budget we calculate, we estimate, it was around 50.
Pour le voyage, c'est 20 000.
For all the project, it was around 50,000 for the both. For really all euro. Yeah, sorry.
But with
So,
computer, bike,
with
clothes,
all equipment,
pharmacy.
yeah.
That's enough.
And it's not enough.
Never enough. So
No, really
how
not.
do you
Raise
funds? You know?
Yeah, so before the trip, we spent 2 years working to save money, just personally, and mostly to ask for grants, because in France we are really lucky for this. We have a lot of public grants to help for cultural or sport or project, mostly for young people under 30. So we asked for many of them, and at the end we had around 18,000 euros just from public grants. So it helped a lot, but it's not enough. So now we are asking for new grants. So it's for us it's not the only possibility, but it's the most interesting because and most efficient also, because it's our project. It's a personal project, but it's also really a cultural project, and we want to share it with the most people possible, not only in France but all over the world. And I think grants exist for this, for help for open project like this.
Okay, thanks, Diana.
Are those videos available for download?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
All the videos are on the website, but they are hosted on Vimeo, you know?
Vimeo.
Yeah, it's like YouTube.
It's Creative Commons.
So you can find it, all the stuff. I think it's downloadable. Downloadable.
Yes, please.
I always traveling by motorbike from there to Perlis to Border to Mohammedan, right? You know, what's when motivate you, you know, to cycling? Because I always see some guys, you know, cycling by by bicycle, you know, and my wife at my back say, see, I mentioned to my wife, see, these people are using bicycle, we are using motorbike. We also feel tired. You know, you always say something to me, you know.
I think.
What is motivate you to cycling?
I think the main reason is just to take the time to travel in a human level time and not mechanical. So when we usually in one day we can make between 50 or at most 100 kilometers. So yeah, it's not a so big distance, and we can really see and understand all the changes on the road, cultural changes, landscape changes, climate changes, and it's really progressive. So I think it's the first reason about traveling by bicycle instead of motorcycle. And the second reason is just because we don't need to pay for gasoil, just need to eat and to drink. And for me, I really love the silence, so a motor, it's not possible for me.
Were you cyclist before? Were you bicyclist before the trip?
No.
No.
Absolutely no.
So you didn't know what you were getting into?
When we were child, as everyone,
yeah.
No more, no.
Because there's some cyclists in the group today. So next question, please. Maybe the last couple of questions before we need to wrap up. Eva? Silakan. Sri.
Past 18 months, do you have any problem with your health? Do you feel any sickness or because of the climate changes?
Not really. Maybe one time in Mauritania, because we crossed the desert. It was very hot and around 1,000 kilometers with nothing. We had to go fast. And when we arrived in Nouakchott, the capital of Mauritania, I think we were just very tired. So dehydration. Okay, thank you. And another time, one time in Indonesia, but no, just little thing.
Didn't have to go to the hospital.
No.
Very good.
Yeah.
There's more injuries working at this office, I think.
Yeah, but I think if you want to go to I don't know, Africa, now you take the plane and you will arrive in I don't know, Senegal. You don't know anything about Senegal. Your body don't know anything about Africa.
Okay.
Bacteria.
Yes, bacteria.
Parasites there
inside your
so,
body.
Your body don't
is
the time
shocked
to
adapt.
But when you travel by bicycle or maybe by motorbike also, but your body just understand what happened and can change. And
Fanch, this is not a good example. In 3 days I will be in Mozambique. So
Take care.
It's another continent.
Sorry.
Okay, last question, please. Yes, please. What's the worst experience you've had?
Get mugged.
Robbed? Anything?
we don't have really
bad
experience. Maybe just I think the problem with the computer in Mexico was
the worst.
At the end, a big problem, a long time problem. But it was not really worse because it was not the worst because we transform it in a lot of other things. Maybe just a few days it was. So some days it's really hard because of rain or of a lot of wind or really cold and big mountains to cross and the first month also it was a little bit hard. Just we crossed France from northwest where we started until the Spain border. So during 1 month almost, and it was just rainy all the day. And so we were
night
really
and day.
night and day. So maybe the first month was the worst moment of the journey.
From back of the room.
How about the language barrier? How you communicate?
You didn't bring her all the way.
Put it in a bag.
Qu'en est-il du problème de langue si vous en avez rencontré?
It was really progressive also because in France it was French. In Spain, at the beginning we were with another friend who was with us until Morocco, and he used to speak really good Spanish. So in Spain it was
okay.
Maybe a problem for us, but with a friend speaking English, Spanish, it was okay. After in Morocco, Mauritania and Senegal, it's French-spoken countries, so most of the people are speaking French. And the beginning was in Mexico. So for me it was not a problem because I learned Spanish at school, but maybe 15 years ago, and I didn't practice anymore. So it was kind of new beginning. But it's really easy, Spanish, in Mexico mostly. And after that we were, and maybe just for you learn, during 6 months we spent in Mexico, you can speak a little bit Spanish now. And English, it's the same, we learned it at school, but a long time ago without practice. And it was the beginning in California to practice, so really hard the first weeks. And now it's, I think, better and better. We try to.
Great.
On essaie d'apprendre les langues. We try to learn some basic words in Indonesian, in Bahasa
Malaysia.
Saya mau makan, mandi, tidur.
The important stuff. The important stuff.
Basics, yeah.
The basics, yeah.
What about when it comes to exchanging ideas? When it comes to the basic is easy. You want to go makan, you want to go left, right is easy. But when it comes to interaction and changing ideas, do you find it a lot more difficult than doing it in France? Are you still able to do it, or is it just a solitary and contemplative experience the whole way?
No, I think we succeed to communicate each time. It's just a question of how long time you take. But if you spend one night with someone, you can.
How many Tariks you need?
But yeah, it really depends on the people also, because when people speak English, it's just really easy. But when we meet people who don't speak nothing about English or French or Spanish, it's took a long time, but it's really possible
It's
to.
interesting also, just
you can understand something.
Just speak with hand and with noise. That's
beyond language.
Beyond language. I think, just with eyes, you can understand with just.
Do your projects, is any of them, does it involve a lot of people, or is it always the two of you? Is maybe the percussion project, is it many people, community, collective project?
We have friends, we have partner. We have a friend who work for us, but not at full time. I want to say we are just the boss. We have partners who can help us for, I don't know, for computer problems or for, I don't know.
No, it's more for emergency than
yeah.
for...
But most of the time we are just the boss.
So, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Posh and Buck. So, what happens with Tarik is that we'll break for an entertainment break with Miss Faye again. And please come up, introduce yourselves, have some more Tarik, have some food, and this is where the best conversation happens after the event, where you can talk personally to them and ask direct questions. So one more time, big round of applause. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.